Hi friends, Suzanne here. Welcome to another paper pumpkin alternative video on my YouTube channel and blog. If you're new to my channel, I want to say hi. This video will share 5 alternative projects to stretch your paper pumpkin supplies. If you don't know what paper pumpkin is, click the link in the description box below and check it out. I always show what's in the box before I ignore all the instructions and create my own masterpieces. So come along with me as I attempt to create out of the box. This is the card kit for October 2021. It is called the Peaceful Christmas Paper Pumpkin Kit. It comes with this stamp set with beautiful sentiments of Merry Christmas and some snowflakes and some trees. It also has a Stampin' Spot of shaded spruce. They always include a little bit of a pamphlet to share with you what this was inspired by. And there is a Peaceful Christmas suite that is in the holiday catalog that features that snowy paper. It's actually really lovely. It's got sort of a twinkle in real life. You can see all the supplies here. We have some vellum trees, we have silver embossed envelopes, we have the word Noel. So I am going to create an alternative for you just to see if you wanted to stretch your supplies a little bit. So these are the supplies that I'm going to use. I have my shaded spruce. I also have a circle die that I'm going to cut out. Now this is the mini cut and emboss machine. This is actually fairly affordable and it fits a lot of your dies. I like to keep it on my desk. And as you can see here, I have my this scalloped circle and it's over top of a piece of foil. And I just had the foil from my stash. So I'm running that through the mini Stampin' cut and emboss machine. All right, so I have some markers here and you could do this creatively with masking, or you could do like I'm doing and just sort of rubbing the ink on the green ink, so shaded spruce, on the word holiday. And then I come in with my cherry cobbler and I'm sort of laying the nib of the pen sideways. I don't want to go directly on it. Don't want to ruin it. But so I've stamped that on the circle that I've cut. Now, if you don't have circles, that's fine. You probably could layer it around with something else or use a protractor and scissors. You can do that. But I just fit a circle around the actual plaid circle in the kit. And then I've attached dimensionals, which are just it's a dimensional adhesive and from the kit. And then I've plopped this circle on top of my foil. So there's 3 together. And so that is going to be my focal point, if you will. I have some glue dots here, but there are glue dots included in the kit, and you could certainly use those. They're not my favorite because they have a backing, and these ones don't. They're on a roll. So for speed's sake, I like to use these ones. And glue dots are worth your weight in gold, I tell ya. Okay, so here is my Excalibur letter opener. You can find that on Amazon if you want. It has a sheath and everything. I purchased it a couple of months ago and I'm still having joy from it. You know, there's certain things in life that give you joy, and my Excalibur sword gives me joy. All right, so I'm cutting down the envelope. I always sacrifice an envelope or 2 for these alternatives. So I'm cutting the silver trees off. I think it's about a 2-inch wide strip. And then I'm going to put some adhesive on the back, and this is using my Stampin' Seal Plus. By far, it's my favorite adhesive, and it sometimes just gives me grief when I'm trying to start it. So I've learned a little trick about rocking it to and fro until it catches on the paper and doesn't tear my paper. So it is very sticky stuff. and handy. So now I'm just trimming off the excess. I've placed that strip about 1/2 inch from the bottom of my card. I've often said if you want to duplicate my designs, you may as well just get a ream of white cardstock. And of course, Stampin' Up sells white cardstock if you're looking for it. And I definitely like white to pop off all the colors and layer, and it's just lovely. All right, so I have cut those trees, those vellum trees, in half, really. And the half of that has 3, I'm going to stick to the back of my circle. And there it is. That is my very simple but fun card. All right, here we are with card number 2. And these are the supplies I'm using. I have Pear Pizzazz, Pool Party, and Shaded Spruce. I have Pool Party and Basic White. And this is the negative piece from the trees. So it's the vellum, the trees that I popped out of the vellum. So I'm not using much supplies from the kit other than this. This is just washi tape. I'm taping it down to my basic white card. So I'm bringing in some daubers. You could use sponges, you could use brushes, you could use makeup sponges, you could use those are blending brushes, you can use just regular sponges, whatever you want. And I chose to use daubers. And the reason why I chose to use daubers, I'll give you the reason behind it, is because some of these like little tree fronds, they kind of lift up. So I didn't want to run the risk of bending them back. And sometimes you can be a little rougher with sponges, that sort of thing. With these daubers, I'm daubing, which is kind of what they're meant for. I did try to rub some a little bit and they did catch these little end pieces, and it was just far easier for me to daub. So I'm daubing on 3 colors. Like I said before, Pear Pizzazz was the last one I just put on. Now I'm putting on Pool Party, but the first color I put on was actually Shaded Spruce. And you can daub heavily or you can daub lightly. Up to you. Here's the reveal. Love doing this. Merry Christmas. Ta-da! Just removing the washi tape from the paper. And now I'm going to adhere that to the Pool Party cardstock, just with my favorite dry adhesive, which is Stampin' Seal. And like I said before, sometimes it can be tricky with this adhesive. There is a bit of a learning curve. Take her slow, take her easy, try not to rip your cards. And of course, you can use whatever adhesive you would like as well. All right, so there's my matted piece. It looks good. Now I'm inking up with Pool Party, and then I'm daubing on with Pear Pizzazz. And this is my Stampin' Chamois. And it's brand new. I got a new one because the other one was looking a little creepifying. It looked like it belonged to Halloween. So what I'm doing is inking up with one ink and then daubing with the other and cleaning in between. And I may have gotten carried away here. And I mean, seriously, you don't have to go that far. I just wanted to cover the front of the card. Here is the Shaded Spruce, and I'm stamping on my focal piece here. And now I want to put dimensional adhesive on the back of my focal piece. And I will put that cattywampus on my card. And I noticed, you know, it's so funny. I've stamped pretty much every single place on the card. I honestly don't care that I went over the back. I want to do it cattywampus, just like that. But then I noticed that there's a gap. And I missed a spot. So now I'm going to have to come in with my snowflake again. Seriously, like I covered this almost this entire card with snowflakes, and yet I had to do one more snowflake. So here I am just trying not to make my station, gross. I just stamped on a scrap piece of paper there. And now I can place this focal piece directly on the card in a cattywampus fashion. And that is my card. But don't forget, there is some embellishments in the kit. And if you didn't use all of them, this is what I did with mine. I put 3 on this card. And I love those gems. All right, here we are with alternative card number 3. I have this supplies. So I have the card base that came with the kit, and it is like a white core product. So I decided to tear this. I folded it in half so I could see where the fold was. And I've torn so I've used my right hand to tear towards me like this. And you can see that the white core of the paper is actually coming through. So I'm going to layer this like that. And then here is the tissue paper that came with the kit. So I ended up cutting this into 3 pieces and then scrunching it and then gluing it to my basic white card base. Now, this is the time in the video where I want you to make a comment down below as to which one was your favorite. I always like to see how many people like number 1 to number 5. So you can always start your comment with, whatever card design that you loved the best. And also, just to add some interest and some fun to the comments below, I would love to hear from you if you missed me. I was away for a little while. I had an injury that I had to take care of, and I wasn't able to do the last 2 paper pumpkins. So I wonder how many people are actually just watching me for the paper pumpkin videos. And if that's you, tell me you missed me. I'd love to hear from you. All right, so here is the basic white card base, and I've put the just wet glue on it. That is Tombow mono adhesive. You saw me scrunch up the tissue paper. This is a great way of using tissue paper. It's fun. It's like you're in art class. So I scrunched it up and now I patted it down. You should actually wait until it's completely dry before you start trimming, or else you can tear it. So that is a really good hint here. Use your heat tool if you have to. And I did want it to be I wanted it to be, I wanted it to be fully covered, but I also wanted it to be textured. Then I decided for that envelope piece that I was going to use the plaid side instead of the straight green side. So I tore a little bit more. Now I'm just putting adhesive on the back, and then I'm going to apply that to, or my card base to, my green piece to the card base. There we go. And then my snowy tree piece to the card base. And I'm just trimming off the excess here. I always have a pair of scissors handy for this particular movement. And now I'm going to apply the card front. And again, this is very similar to the Peaceful Christmas Suite. There is a whole pack of designer series paper in case you want to do your Christmas cards with that. It is beautiful paper. And there's some sequins that go along with it, and we will utilize that in the next card. So here I have stamped just with a strip of basic white. And I felt it was too stark on the card. So, and it's just like an extra cut off, right? And I just wanted to make sure that it was a nice size. And then I backed it with that extra envelope paper. And I mean, I'm not measuring anything. So, you know, this is something that I feel like a lot of people think that you have to be completely exact when you're crafting. You don't. You can just mat something and use your scissors to cut along. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit off. So I put dimensional adhesive on the back of that. And now I'm going to adhere the matted sentiment to the card. And I liked it at the bottom. I did sort of try it up at the top, but I liked it the best at the bottom. And I'm probably about a half an inch from the bottom. And now I'm just going to take off the remaining piece. And that is the card. All right, here we are with alternative card number 4. And this one is a super cute card. I have my shaded spruce here. I also have those, a little strip of basic white. And I'm just measuring my card base here. I measured a half an inch from the bottom. And now this was the negative piece that the die cut Noel came in. And I've taped this off. This is painter's tape. It's low tack painter's tape. And I can see where I'm going to place this negative die cut. And I can see where the pencil line is, just right underneath right at the very bottom of the Noel. So now I'm coming in with those blending brushes that I spoke of before. Blending brushes, Stampin' Up! Has made these lovely, soft blending brushes. They're curved in the right places. I sound like, you know, trying to describe a lovely dress or something. It's got all the right curves. Once you figure out how to use these, they do have a roundness at the bottom, and you can go exceptionally light as long as you know where the ink is. I always dab off onto a non-porous surface, like a little piece of plastic or something, and then I'm just going to town. I am using the shaded spruce. And here I'm going to remove it, and then see, ta-da! There's the Noel. So I'm going to put another one right next door, and on the same, I'm glad I have that pencil line. All right, so then I'm tapping into the ink and then tapping off to make sure that it's kind of like a way of seasoning your brush. So, and you can pick up some of the old ink there too. This is a very fun and easy way to create, basically I've made a stencil with this. So, and I just used, you could use Post-it notes for your masking. I just used, it is called frog tape. You get it at Rona or any kind of hardware store. And it is for delicate surfaces. And it has a green frog on it. I didn't show the package, but I have in the past. All right, so there is my Noel. Now I have the sentiment strip from Our House to Yours, and I've inked up that sentiment just on a basic white card. And then I'm going to stick that basic white card onto the a plaid card here. This comes from the kit, and I just wanted to matte it. So I just needed something so it wasn't so stark white. And then I trimmed that down, and I put, and I just used my scissors again, not being super accurate, just trying to make it look good. And these I call bones. The outside or the dimensional adhesive that comes. You could get it in the kit, or you could buy it from Stampin' Up, of course. And this little strip actually works very nicely. I stuck that on incorrectly, so thank goodness I didn't press too hard. And I think I could have left this alone, maybe with just a couple other sequins. The sequins are called Subtle Shimmer Sequins, and they are a part of the Peaceful Christmas Suite collection. And I haven't used sequins in a while, and I think I went a little rogue here. So if I was to make this card again, I would probably reduce the amount of sequins I used. But I actually really like sometimes just overdoing it, right? Like the sequins are having fun. It's reminds me of snow. So I wasn't too, I didn't hate it, or I wouldn't be in this video. So this is a take your pick tool, and this is how I use it. I take the gummy end and I pick up whatever I'm trying to stick down, and then I use the pokey end that I've removed from the top, and I press that whatever it is, in this case sequins, down to the glue. So I did dot glue all over right next to where I sort of sprinkled the sequins. I like randomness of things. I don't like things being too contrived, or, well, that was the card that I was trying to create with this one. And yeah, so I put all of the sequins on the glue, and that is it. Card number 4 is complete. So we have one more card left. All right, here we go. This is card number 5, and I am using one of the die cut extra pieces. Now I have covered this with Post-it note. This is Post-it note tape. You can get it at Staples, and it's like tape that is as sticky as Post-it notes, if that makes sense. So I put, like, there was a circle that popped out of this, and it was a negative piece. So I made sure to cover the whole piece because I was using these blending brushes again. And I just covered up the crease of the card. So you can see what I did there. I used, I think it was Mango Melody, and I made a circle. So we'll do this again. So I'm going to place my circle with the Post-it tape down. And then I'm going to come in with, this is Real Red. And I daub it on, I tap it off, and then in small, soft, circular motions with no heavy weight to it, I apply the ink. And in the middle, I'm leaving it, trying to leave it as white as possible. So you want to go very softly. So here we go. We have a third one, and I'm going to bring in that shaded spruce color because that is the color of ink that we got in the kit. And you can make these all green. If that's the only color you have, do it. All right, so I'm using those brushes again, and just very softly. I can't stress how soft I am doing it. It is so soft. The ink is barely on there, and you don't need a lot because I wanted this to be kind of ethereal. All right, just finishing up here, and then the reveal will be coming soon. Here we are. I'm lifting it up, and I have 3 beautiful circles on my card. And it almost looks as if, you know, they're Christmas baubles, but we need to have some inspiration. So this stamp set is called Bright Baubles, and there is a hand-drawn bow. And I felt like I could duplicate the same thing. So you can see what I'm doing here. There's an actual kind of like an infinity symbol on the top. I did want to make sure that I was in the center of each circle. So I draw my infinity symbol and then I loop up, and that I was just kind of copying the Bright Baubles stamp set. So if you don't know or have that stamp set, you can go and look at the artwork and you can see how what it is. I know it's shiny. You can't see what I'm working with right now, but it is definitely something to help you. I made, and this is a Stampin' Write marker, but you don't have to use a Stampin' Write marker. You could use just a black pen or a red pen or a blue pen. It doesn't matter. I just thought it was like a really nice way of using the stamp and some of the leftover pieces. So here's my ruler. I'm coming in, I'm lining up the middle of one of the baubles with the center of my little bow there, and trying to make everything straight, because simple cards like this, sometimes if you're a little bit off, it won't look as realistic. And I did sort of just, I wanted to make it a double line. And then I used the Holiday Cheer and I stamped it with the color that came in the kit, which was Shaded Spruce. And then I couldn't go without adding one of these gems on each one of the bows. And then I had to, and you might not know this of me, but I am quite addicted to Wink of Stella. And I hadn't used it at all during this video. So I'm going to show you how to add some sparkles. So I just kind of was tapping the Wink of Stella with my bone folder quite hard, and a whole bunch of flecks of sparkle comes out. So I'm trying to get the baubles. But that is my alternative cards for October 2021. Thank you so much for sticking with me to the very end. If you're interested, again, for anything, my blog, hit the description box below. You will see how to find me. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I missed you. I'm back. Bye.